Hey everyone, Jesse here, product specialist at MOD Devices, and today we are introducing the guitar synthesizer. So we made a couple of boards that were designed to be played by a guitarist. There's no MIDI, it's just no pickup required, you just plug in your guitar and play it. And today we are showing the flexible guitar synth engine. It's one of the boards we did that's capable of a variety of sounds from basses to leads to chords. And I have Andy with me here today to be giving us a bit of a demo, playing some riffs and showing off the board. So let's start by telling you a tiny bit about synthesizer architecture. So usually we start with a tone generator, which we call an oscillator, and the sound of that gets shaped by a filter that follows after that. And the filter takes out certain parts of the sound to end up with something we like. So without further ado, let's start a bit with the tone generator. So Andy, would you give us a little demo?
Sure thing.
Cool. So for this tone generator, we have octave control. We can change the waveform. We can add modulation. Make it very intense. And we can also add multiple oscillators so that when we play a single note, you hear multiple. Of course, these can be tuned as well. And that leaves us pretty much with what we can do with the oscillators. So I'm going to turn the two extra ones off and go back to one. And let's move on to the filter where we shape the sound. So let's start with the cutoff frequency of the filter. This is basically the point at which it starts removing frequencies. And a nice thing that we can do is we can actually control this with our feet as well. Then another nice thing is we can actually influence how far the filter opens with the playing dynamics of our guitar. If I turn this all the way off, and no matter how hard Andy plays right now, the filter will not open more. If I turn this all the way up, even a slight difference in playing dynamics will give a different sound. I like it a bit mild on both sides, so a bit of the filter being open, a bit of playing dynamics influence, quite a lot actually of the playing dynamics. Then another thing that's quite important for synth filters is the resonance. So right now we've been listening to a sound with a lot of resonance, which emphasizes different frequencies in the sound. If I turn it down, you'll hear the difference. So that's the resonance. We also have many different filter types, such as low passes, different types. There's high passes, band passes, even a notch. I don't want to run through all of these because it's quite a bit of a sound design effort to make them sound good with the current patch settings. But it's there to explore, and there's some interesting sounds to be had for sure. Then finally, we can also modulate the filter with an LFO, just like we did with the oscillator. And we can change the waveform of that LFO just like we could with the oscillator. Now, let's go to the next page. This one controls the amplitude of the signal. So we have two important controls. We have fixed to VCA and we have dynamic to VCA. The fixed control, if that's the only one that's on, so let's remove the impact of the dynamics, all the sounds will be equally loud, no matter how loud Andy is playing. So let's give it a try. So if I turn off the fixed amount and we go for just the dynamics, it's the opposite. It's very responsive to how loud we're playing. So using these controls, you can kind of tweak the synth's behavior to your taste and make it respond dynamically as you wish. I like a blend of both myself. Then on the final page, we have our effects section. So we have a delay and a reverb. The reverb has been active all this time, just a tad, and we can enable the delay as well. So that was just one of the patches that we did. We created a bunch more specialized for different use cases. So there's ones for bass, lead, chords, blended with the guitar, and all of these patches are ready to be played out of the box. There is another video in which we show the sounds of these patches. And if you're curious to learn more on how to create them, there's also another video in which we explain how we did it. You can learn to do your own. You can, or at least learn how to adapt the ones that are already out there. Of course, thank you, Andy, for giving us these great demos.
No problem.
And we'll see you guys next time.